Megan Bunninger. I'm the curator here at Historic Kenmore, and we're going to take you on a little tour through the house today to see our preparations for COVID safety and our reopening in the last 2 weeks, and to give you a little inside glimpse at what it's like here in the house. Come on in. We're entering the house into the central passage, and we're going to move along the tour path right into the master bedchamber of the house. This room was primarily used by Betty Washington Lewis. She was George Washington's younger sister, eventually married Fielding Lewis, and they built this house together after about 25 years of marriage, moved in the fall of 1775. Unfortunately, Fielding died a few years later, and this really became Betty's house. And so we remember this master bedchamber as being Betty's room. A lot of the things in this room actually belonged to Betty Lewis and were used when she lived here in the house in the 1780s, including the bed. This desk belonged to her as well. And if you come here on tour, you'll hear some really great stories about this piece of furniture. And we're going to head into the dining room now. So this was the Lewis family's dining room, and this is probably your best opportunity to see these famous plasterwork ceilings. This one is really the most famous. It has about 13 different plasterwork techniques exhibited in it, and it was made by the mysterious stucco man. Now, I'm not going to tell you what the mystery about the stucco man is. You're going to have to come on tour and hear about that yourself. But it's a pretty amazing story of how these ceilings came to be. For instance, the carpet on the floor is a reproduction, but it's based on research of what we think was actually here when the Lewises lived here. And if you look over at the table in the center of the room, you can see that we have it set up sort of in an interesting way. Instead of the usual dinner happening here in the dining room, we're showing it as it would have looked after dinner, when the gentlemen came into the room to smoke and have a drink and talk politics and business. So a little different scene for the Kenmore dining room. And now we're going to go in here into the drawing room. So this space was used by the Lewis family as essentially their living room. This is where they did a lot of their informal entertaining. It's where the ladies came after dinner. It's where the family spent their time in the evenings. So this is where they played cards and had games and evening chat, that sort of thing. At the moment, we have it set up to show what a formal tea service would look like. There's another amazing plasterwork ceiling in this room as well, and another pretty amazing carpet in this room that really sets off that emerald green wallpaper. Kenmore is nothing if not colorful. This room also features a lot of portraits that we have managed to acquire over the years of family members. Specifically, you can see the only known portrait of Fielding Lewis, Betty Washington Lewis's husband. The last space of the house, Fielding Lewis's office, Fielding spent a lot of his time in this room. Over there on the desk, the book that is open is actually the only remaining book from his personal library. It actually has his signature on the top of the cover page. You can see hat and shoes and stockings in this room. This would have been sort of his room where he could take off his shoes after a long day of work, kick back a little bit. And that brings us to the end of the tour. We'll be heading out back to the main passage. And normally if you were on tour here, your guide would now take you outside to tell you a little bit about the grounds. You can learn more at kenmore.org or at our blog, Lives and Legacies. We hope to see you here at Kenmore very soon.